Check in. Let's go. We're going all the way. Let's go. It's time. Let's go. Let's go. Come on in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hello, Miss Golston. Happy Thanksgiving. Hold up, we going in. People pleasing. All right. Nah, I ain't sleepy. Not even close. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Day 3 of our, I don't know what to call them. We're going to call it King of the Land TV. That's what we're going to call it. But I'm actually glad to have you all here. I want to say happy early Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope that you all get a chance to enjoy your families, reflect over some amazing hurdles that God has brought all of us over, and enjoy each other. I mean, because we know that life is a vapor. You can be here one moment and gone the next. So show some gratitude. And don't forget to tell God thank you for all the amazing things He's done for you. Okay, so today we have switched lanes a little bit, and I got some requests of a few people wanting to talk about being people pleasers. People pleasers. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to define what a people pleaser is, and then I'm going to talk about some of the characteristics or traits of a people pleaser. We're not going to be able to get everything in today, not in one sitting. This is going to have to be maybe, I probably do 2 segments, maybe 3. It just depends on how things go. I've done a lot of research, and there's a lot to say about being a people pleaser. And so as we hop in today, once again, I want to welcome you all to the live, to the podcast, to the TV, whatever you want to call it. I always like to say, now I love preaching, but I know people, when you say you're preaching, people are looking for scriptures. This is not a sermon. This is not a sermon. This is a real talk. I may say something crazy in this. So You just never know how it might go. Just be ready. Okay, so we're going to start by, first of all, defining what a people pleaser is. Okay, we want a workable definition. We want to be clear and concise as it relates to this, because if you don't know what a people pleaser is, how can you determine if you are one of them? Okay, so we're going to define it for you. According to the research that I've done, a people pleaser is someone who consistently prioritizes the needs, desires, and approval of others over their own. Did y'all hear what I just said? I'm going to try to do this slow today because you got to get this. Some of you are drained, you're exhausted, you are bent out of shape. I mean, you have no energy left. You are just depleted because your whole life has been dedicated to making sure that everybody else is good. And at the end of the day, you're the person who's left struggling. You're the person who's left exhausted. You're the person who has nothing else left to give. You've given your all. And it's because you have possibly become a people pleaser. Now, some folk might get mad at me because I'm putting you up on game. They're going to get mad at King because I'm going to put you up on game, because you don't need to be living your life pleasing other people. Now, there are some people that you need to please, but I promise you it ain't everybody, and I would go even far as saying that some folks you just can't please. You cannot please everybody, okay? So a people pleaser is someone who consistently prioritizes the needs and desires and approval of others over their own. That means that they care more about what other people think, say, what they do, how they feel, over their own feelings. They're always striving to make sure that everybody else is good. And they will go to any extent to do it, even at the expense of their health, even some people at the expense of their own sanity. There are people who are literally losing their minds trying to please people who are bottomless pits. Somebody type it in, bottomless pit. A bottomless pit. That means no matter how much you do or how often you do it, you will never be able to please those individuals. Okay? We're just trying to keep it real. We're trying to be concise. We're trying to be direct. It's some folk that you need to cut off before 2025 gets here. You don't need to drag them over into your new year with the same struggle that you've been having throughout 2024. It's time to just cut loose, let go, and focus on you. And let me just say this to those of you who might not hear this often. Stop feeling guilty for making sure that you're good. Stop feeling guilty. Don't let people put you and send you on a guilt trip because you want to make sure that your mental health is intact, because you want to make sure that your body is healthy and physically fit. You want to make sure that your emotions are intact. You got to make sure that you are good, because one thing about people, they will run you dry. They will run you all around the city. They will have you running errands. They will have you working day and night. And the moment you get sick, they're going to send you some chicken noodle soup through an Uber driver. Won't think nothing else about it. They might send you a get well soon text, and they want you to get well so that you can continue helping them. We got to cut it out, man. We got to cut it out. I want you to share this video because it's some other folk that need to be in here, who want to be in here, just might not know about it. Just go ahead and share it now, because we're getting ready to get this thing rolling. I'm going to go ahead and apologize to some of you right now for stepping on your toes and saying things that you might not like to hear. This is what it is. When you click on my live, just be ready for whatever. All right. So let me finish defining what a people pleaser is, because you need to know if you are one. You need to know if somebody you love is being a people pleaser. You need to know if you know all the traits and attributes are in you. So we're gonna get there. Okay, so once again, a people pleaser is someone who consistently prioritizes the needs and desires and approvals of others over their own, often at the expense of their own well-being or boundaries. A person who delights in pleasing other folk will sometimes keep moving the boundaries back for the people that they're trying to please. They just keep on moving the boundaries back. They keep on. You might as well not even have no boundaries, because every time you set boundaries, you end up moving them for people that really don't appreciate you, for one. Secondly, people that just want to use you. I had to learn early in ministry that I made a declaration to myself that I'm not going to let people use me. I'm not going to let people use me. You can call me pastor. You can call me bishop. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You ain't finna use me. If I do something for you, it's going to be because I want to do it. And it's going to be because I know you wouldn't, that you would do the same thing for me. You know, because if ain't nothing being reciprocated, you're not going to drain me dry and then send me on my way and then do the same thing to the next person. No, I'm not going. I'm not going. We not having that. And some folk will cut you off the moment you stop doing for them, the moment you stop being available all the time, the moment you tell them no, you know it's on and popping. You know, you really know how people feel about you when they hear the word no from you. When you tell them no, man, they get all caught up in their feelings. They get to texting crazy, acting crazy, saying all type of slick stuff, man. I'm telling you. But no, the word no reveals the heart of the people that you're connected to. You ought to try it sometimes. Tell them no, even if you don't mean to. Tell them no just to see their reaction. And once you see that reaction, man, that's a clear indication that, man, you need to make some adjustments, because it's going to get worse and worse. The more you do for some people, the worse it gets. All right. So people who are people pleasers will go out of their way to make other people happy. They're always going out of their way. And watch this. They also try to avoid conflict. They like to seek validation, and sometimes to the point of overextending themselves. Do you know what it means to overextend yourself? Let me just break it down to you. When you overextend yourself, you're saying yes to everybody because your intentions are pure. Your motives are pure. You're a good-hearted person. You just want to make people happy. You just want to be there for everybody. You just want to help people overcome their obstacles, man. You just want to be that person that don't want to let nobody down. And what you end up doing is overextending yourself. When you overextend yourself too long and too often, you will find yourself having a mental breakdown. If you're always giving and pouring and giving and pouring and giving and pouring, and it's not being reciprocated somewhere, you will burn out. Some people have a whole lot of motion, they have a whole lot of momentum, and I just be sitting back because I know I've been there and I've done that. I've had motion, I've had momentum, I've had the juice, you know, and you know what happened? You start running low on fuel. It's like a car that's running out of gas. If you don't have people around you that love you enough to pour back into you like you pour into them, you're just draining yourself dry. I'm telling you, you exhaust yourself to the point, some people, of no return. So let me give you people pleaser. I know some of you are thinking, am I a people pleaser? I just like to help people. Well, for every giver, there's a ton of takers. I know that's heavy right there. Oh, I'm just a giver at heart. Well, some people are takers at heart. Our issue is that sometimes we get caught up with takers. There are folk that's in and out of bankruptcy right now because they had good hearts. There are people right now trying to figure out how they're going to pay their next bill because they got good hearts. There are folk right now who are struggling to make ends meet right now because they got good hearts. There are people who are in hospitals and the main people they help won't even come see them because they have good hearts. And the thing about a person with a good heart and who's a people pleaser is that the moment they get well, they go back to doing the same stuff over and over again because they need validation. They need the approval of others. I see people all the time, always got to be the follower behinder. That's what I call them. Always following behind somebody, always carrying somebody else's stuff, always chasing behind, opening car doors for folk that don't even respect you because you are into pleasing people. And the reason they keep you around is not because they like you. Oh, I know it's heavy. The reason they keep you around is not because they like you. They keep you around because they like what you do. There's a difference between somebody keeping you around because they love your company, they enjoy the essence of who you are versus just liking what you do. Because a person can like what you do and still not have respect or admiration for you. Yeah, a person can love what you do, but can't stand you. You're irking to them. They're rolling while you're being a blessing to them and while you're meeting needs. They're looking at the people that they really like and respect and rolling their eyes at you. Come on, man. Don't play yourself like that. I need somebody to type in facts because these are nothing but facts. Type it in, hashtag facts. Y'all got to let me know if I'm talking good because if I ain't talking about nothing, I don't need to be on here. And so let's look at this real quick. We're going to look at some of the manifestations of people pleasers. What are some of the manifestations of people pleasers? One, I have a hard time telling people no. Have a hard time telling people no. And the reason I have a hard time telling people no is because I'm afraid to set boundaries. People who are afraid to say no and set boundaries are also afraid of rejection. They have a fear of being rejected, which is an issue that is internal, that needs to be faced so that it can be fixed. See, because everything is rooted in something. Everything is rooted in something and everything starts somewhere. A person who fears being rejected will do almost anything for acceptance. Man. Did y'all hear what I just said? A person who fears rejection will do almost anything to be received by people. Even to the extent that you're falling around people that you know don't like you, don't have your best interest at heart. You know, and also they look at you as being weak. If you're a people pleaser, the people that you're helping in most cases, the people who are using you, let me just go on and keep it real. The people who are using you look at you as a weak individual. They don't respect you and they really don't like you. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate it. They just like what you bring to the table. You need some people in your life who care about you. People who will tell you, look, I got this. Man, take a break. No, man, you're doing too much. Man, just sit down and relax. Because there are some good people who are on the verge of burning out, and you see them burning out. You see them stretching themselves thin. You see them, and you know that they have a hard time saying no, and you just let them keep on going like the Energizer Bunny. The only problem with them is that their batteries are running low. And even when their batteries are running low, you got some folk that be, come on, man, pick it up. Come on, man, we got to get this done. We got to get this done. They would never return that favor for you. And going into 2025, I need you to use this as a declaration. I will not let people use me. I will not be letting people use me going into 2025. Some changes will be made. No is going to be a part of my vocabulary. Simple as that. If you don't like it, find somebody else to use. But I'm going to learn how to say no. And not only will I learn how to say no in 2025, but I'm not going to feel guilty about it. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it. Sometimes I just don't want to. Come on, man, why you don't want to? Because I just don't want to. And you got to put your foot down and you got to say no. And sometimes you got to say it you got to say it from your chest. I said no, and you're going to respect it, period. And that's how some of y'all need to start moving, man, because people would take your kindness for weakness. I remember back in the day, man, we used to help so many people. And I had a problem with saying no. Because I felt like, man, I'm a man of God, I'm a pastor, and I need to help as many people as I can. And I realized that a lot of people was drawn to what we were capable of doing. And I also realized in the same token, when you start saying no, you have less people crowding around you. When you start saying no and you start seeing through all the gimmicks and you start seeing through all the lies, and when you start seeing through all these facades that people have up, then, now you want to duck and hide because you realize that I can see now. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you how I got this one person. A long time ago, somebody said they were hungry. We just had some type of event and we had a whole lot of food left. Now, we'll feed anybody. You came up and you said you're hungry. We got a whole lot of food right here that has not been touched. The person declined the food, which tells me that they were never hungry in the first place. They wanted something else. They never got it. But that opened my eyes. And from that moment moving forward, I started asking God to give me discernment. Discernment helps you to see through things that you would ordinarily see through. Some things God has to give you eyes to see. And once God starts showing you stuff, then, that's when you proceed with caution. That's when the light is yellow and I can probably make it through the light, but, I'm going to proceed with caution because other cars may, you know what I'm saying. To proceed with caution means to be cautious as you move forward. Okay, so one of the traits of a people pleaser is they have a hard time saying no. And so in order for you to change that narrative, you have to at some point start saying no. Can you take me? Not today. Can you give me? Not today. I promise you that if you start saying no, that your phone will ring less. Some folk may even kick you out of their groups, their little cliques. They ain't gonna want to deal with you. Why? Because when people can't use you anymore, You are of no value to them. I need somebody to see value in me and not just what I'm able to do. I need people to see value in me, the person, not what I'm able to bring to the table. Because if I know you value me as a person, then there's probably nothing that I won't do for you within reason. Y'all with me? If you just hopping on this live, go on and share it, because we going in. It's people out here who are drowning trying to please other folk. There are folk out here who are literally drowning and losing themselves trying to assist and help and do for people who have no concern about their real well-being. We trying to save some folks. We trying to help some people. And so, one, we have a difficulty saying no. Two, sometimes we say yes to avoid conflict. Have you ever said yes to something that you really didn't want to do because you didn't feel like arguing? You didn't want to fight about it. You didn't want somebody to be all uptight. You didn't want to feel the silence in the room. You didn't want to go through all of the drama. And so you said yes just to appease the person. Have you ever been there? Well, you're getting ready to turn over a new leaf. And what I mean by that is that I want you to take away from these lives and these teachings the ability to do something that you hadn't been able to do in the past. And so what I mean by that, and you ain't got to be nasty about it, but if it's up, it's stuck. It is what it is. If it's going to be tension in the room, then it's going to be tension in the room. If you're going to get mad at me over my no because I won't give you your yes, then it's going to be tension in the room. I mean, it is what it is. And whatever pops off, that's what it's going to be, because no longer will I allow you to use your manipulative tactics to get what you want out of me when I can't get nothing out of you. If you value me as a person, then when I say no, you're going to respect that anyway. Somebody type no means no. No means no. Some of you have lost some people in your life. And let me tell you this, that loss was really a win. Woo, I know that. I wish I had the... That loss was really a win. When people leave you because they can no longer manipulate you, that loss is a victory for you. It's a W. It's a win. It might hurt when they leave, and you might lose a couple of nights of sleep. But I promise you, God will restore you quick, fast, and in a hurry. What you'll realize is that you got more time to focus on things that really matter. Now you can hear the birds chirping all of a sudden. You couldn't hear them before because you're so busy pleasing everybody else that you miss the small, minute things about life. Like the wind blowing. Now you can hear the wind blowing. Now you see the leaves turning colors when at first you didn't even know what season you was in because your head is so far. When you start saying no and you learn how to face the conflict. I didn't say run from it, because we ain't ducking. We're not ducking nothing. Some of y'all love ducking every obstacle, every conflict, every disagreement. You ducking it all because you just don't want to deal with it. But until you face it, you'll never be able to fix it. Until you face it, you'll never be able to fix it. To maintain harmony and to keep other people happy, people pleasers always go out of their way to avoid disagreements, confrontations, and even if it means suppressing their own opinions and their desires. If you get to a point where you feel a type of way, but you can't speak on it, you are under the spell of manipulation. If you can't voice your opinion around certain people, I promise you, you don't need to be around them. You need to find you some more people who respect your mind. Type it in, respect my mind. Respect my mind. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, respect my mind. Please respect my mind. We don't have to be on the same page. But respect my mind. And not only do I want you to respect my mind, but respect my feelings. Don't tell me you should feel that way. You can't tell me how to feel. I feel how I feel. And I feel this way for a reason. Now, you can explain why you're making me feel this way, but you're not going to tell me how I should and should not feel. Basically, you're saying that my feelings are not valid. When you tell me you shouldn't feel this way, but they're my feelings. And you're not going to make or convince me that my feelings are not valid. Now, after an adult conversation, then maybe I can adjust my feelings accordingly. But if I feel this way in the moment, it's how I feel. And I'm not going to feel guilty because you're trying to make me feel that I should be feeling a different type of way. No. People pleasing ain't that important. So we have people pleasers have a hard time saying no. They always ducking conflict. Thirdly, they're always seeking the approval of other people. People who generally seek the approval of other people before they do anything, man, are considered weak individuals, people who have no originality. It's very important that you be original, that you be authentic, that you be the person you need to be. Stop adjusting yourself to fit in. That's one thing that I've never been too good at it. I'm 100% Ron King. I got some pros and some cons about me. I got some things about me that I don't even like. There are some things about me that I feel like are beneficial for me and the people around me, but I also have some traits that I don't like. But at the end of the day, I'm never confused about who I am. And there are people who might not like my personality. There are people who, quite frankly, might not like me. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, if you are around me, you're going to get 100% me. Ask anybody who know me. They're going to say he going to be himself. That's why I just don't fit in every clique. I can't go everywhere. There's some folk who just would rather not deal with me, or, because I don't conform well. I don't conform well. It's either you accept me for who I am, or you get to step in. Because there are a whole lot of people who love Ron King for me, right? I got a whole family who knows my good, bad, ugly. They're going to love me regardless. So I'm not, the only time I think that people start doing all these adjustments and trying to be this person, fake, phony, doing all this old extra stuff, is because they don't have enough people in their life to confirm them. They don't have enough people around them to give them the affirmation that they need. I have affirmation. I got a big family on both sides, and both sides love me. And so if people in the street ain't rocking with me, people don't like me, don't want to be around me, I can just get back to the crib and get back to my element, get around my family. And guess what? We're going to turn up. We're going to have a good time. We're going to sing. It's up with us. And that's even after we've been fighting, going through it, ups and downs. We come back to the drawing board, and guess what? Boom, we good. And so if you are the type of person that's always looking for validation from certain people, and some people love to be the one giving the validation, ain't worth a hill of beans, but I always want somebody to look up to them. I ain't never liked nobody pulling my coattail. I mean, there used to be a whole lot of people around me, but I treated them like men. I don't need nobody carrying nothing for me and doing all this and that for me, because I can do it for myself. I don't get nothing out of making somebody else feel less than. That's why my whole ministry has been catering to the underdogs, because I like to see people being picked up and being lifted up, not me up here looking down on people and don't even want to extend a hand to pull nobody up. Man, that stuff ain't about nothing right there. I look at it like this: I grow, you grow. We in it together. But at the end of the day, there are no big I's and no little U's. Now, and everybody who approves certain things in your life may not have your best interest at heart. If you're looking for approval from the world and approval from all these different people, you lose sight of who you are as a person. There are some people walking around, you got a little bit of them in you, a little bit of them in you, a little bit of them. When we all got a little bit of folk in us that we admire and respect, and there are certain attributes and things that they do that we adopt and we use for ourselves, but at the end of the day, man, if God wanted 2 of them, he would have made 2 of them. God loves you for who you are, not who you're pretending to be. And some folk, they know when they get around certain crowds, man, they get bougie. They start acting a certain way. Man, it's people that I know personally. And I'm like, man, how they acting like this? Man, we came out the mud together. And you have the audacity to be walking around here like you big shot, man. Sit down somewhere. All of us are one paycheck from really being bankrupt. Yeah, struggling, trying to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mortgage is due and we still scratching our heads. Come on, man. Be for real. We can't afford to be looking down on nobody. The approval that we need, let me just go ahead and put this in your pipe. The real approval you need is from God. That's the approval that you need. A person who has already been affirmed by God is a person who is confident. That is a person who walks with their head up. They're not trying to compete with folk. They're not comparing themselves by everybody they see. They're okay when they look in the mirror and they said, Lord have mercy, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Why? Because God took his time to make me the person that I am. And you know what? There are some folk that just don't like God's handiwork. You cannot make everybody like you. Are y'all with me? Let me just go ahead and I'm going to say this real softly. I know you're a good person. I know you're kind. I know you like doing for people. I know you'll give the person the shirt off your back. I know you really hate saying no if it's within your power to do it. I know that. But at the end of the day, you can do all of that stuff. And if God ain't pleased with you, then it doesn't even matter what people are saying about you. Always be cognizant of the fact that people will tell you everything you want to hear as long as they can get what they want. You need some people in your life that's going to tell you the truth. It might hurt. It's just like taking medicine. Sometimes you got to take horse pills. And you hate taking them pills. Hard pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, the moment it digests and get in your system, you start getting better. Those are the type of people we need in our life. It's really called accountability. And people who love you will hold you accountable, even when you don't want to be held accountable. In the end, you go back to them and be like, man, I love y'all. Thank you. I'm going to do better. I needed that. But at the end of the day, the approval that you need is from God. People pleasers, they want everybody to like them. You go to work and you're doing all this extra stuff. You stand after work, working for free because you want your supervisor to like you. You know, when your supervisor goes home, they ain't thinking about you. They going home to their family. They going to come back in tomorrow. You going to do all that extra stuff. And guess what? They going to go on back to the crib to their family. They clocking out on time. You staying over, neglecting your family, neglecting the people that love you. You don't hear out because you too caught up in people liking you. And so we have different issues saying no. We have a problem avoiding conflict. We're seeking the approval of other people. And this is the last one I'm going to do for the day. We got to stop overcommitting. We have to stop overcommitting. I can remember a time putting everything on my schedule. Putting everything on there. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll go. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll do that. When I tell you that I got so drained at some point in my life that I didn't know whether I was going or coming. So exhausted, drained. Have you ever been there? Drained. You keep pushing, but because you overcommitted. You want to know why some people overcommit? Some people overcommit because they want to be seen too much. They want to be accepted. They want to be respected. They want folk to see their face. And so, yeah, I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to this. I can remember people asking me, man, why you don't go to this? Why you don't go to that? Because I don't want to. Simple as that. I've had my day of running to everything and running to everybody's rescue. The moment I slowed down to get myself together, to tend to the things that matter in my house, all of a sudden, he don't care nothing about people. He's selfish. He's this and he's that. And guess what? I can handle that. Can you handle it though? It's crazy how people, they can't handle your no, get in their feelings, and then try to drag you from there. No, it don't work like that. You got to be able to because once you start saying no, people are you're gonna be under tough scrutiny. I'm trying to find the words to say it the right way. You start saying no, you're gonna be under a microscope. I'm telling you, because what you doing? Why he don't have time to do this and do that? Then all of a sudden, you just got to be prepared for what comes with say no. So what you have to do, turn some events down. Sometimes you have to respectfully decline. You don't have to be nasty about it. Now you could say, because I don't want to. Or you can just send them an email, send them a text, or send them a message and say, I appreciate the invitation, but I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Let me give this example. I preached a lot of funerals and homegoing celebrations in the city. When I say a lot of them, I mean that. It's not an exaggeration. I have preached a lot of funerals. I was doing so many funerals at one point that I started to think I lived at the funeral home. And I understand, with me being considered one of the younger preachers and being more relevant and can relate to the younger generation, I can understand why people would want me to come and to speak, because I'm going to speak clear. I'm going to speak plain. You're going to be able to understand and relate to what I'm saying, because I can relate to this generation as well. But until I learn how to respectfully decline some of those opportunities, I was losing my mind. Do you hear me? Because when you're standing in the pulpit and you're preaching funeral after funeral, young people getting killed, they're dying, and you're looking at the parents and the siblings and the family in the face, eulogizing their child who didn't have an opportunity to even live their life. When you've done that so many times, it takes something out of you. And I realized that it was dragging me into a state of depression. And I said to myself that I'll still say yes to some, but I won't say yes to them all. And so when I start respectfully declining, but as much as I want to be there for everybody, I realize that it's a lot of preachers in this city who can eulogize other people. When I said no, I started gaining my strength back. I started feeling a little bit better because I wasn't seeing a dead body every day. Now, some people can preach a eulogy or do whatever they do and not feel no type of way about it because they're used to doing it. But me, being a people person and caring about what's going on in the city and what's going on with these young people, and I empathize and sympathize with other people, I feel their pain. It hits me differently. And so I had to do what was good for me so that I could. So don't overextend yourself. That's all I'm saying. Learn how to say no. People gonna get mad at you. Some folks gonna delete you like they've deleted me. You know, they're gonna stop rocking with you. But guess what? I can handle that. Can you? Don't be so afraid of losing people that you keep on overextending yourself and drowning in everything that's not even going to be beneficial to you at the end of it. And so it's okay. If you are a people pleaser, you can turn this thing around. I got some other points, but I'm not going to get into them today because I think I've shared enough for today. Number 5 is going to be some people who are people pleasers have a difficulty expressing their true feelings. They're sacrificing their own self-interest. They don't do anything for themselves because they're too busy doing everything for everybody else. And then they have a problem with perfectionism because they don't want to let anybody down. They got to get it right. It's not good enough. You're running yourself raggedy, trying to get it right. Do this for them. Oh, I don't want to disappoint them. Don't want to let them down. You're killing yourself. all for the sake of pleasing somebody who's not even going to be speaking to you in a couple of months. Ain't that something? You can break your neck for people. You can run for them till you're black and blue in the face. And the moment you stop, they tell you farewell. You better start clinging to the people that love you. Because if you're around people who truly love you, your giving will always be reciprocated. Your love will always be reciprocated. You know, your time, talent, and treasure, all of that will be appreciated and reciprocated when you are around people who love the person you are. They love the essence of who you are, and they're not just out trying to use you. Let me say this in closing. Take some time to evaluate the people you got in your life. Some of you got a lot of takers around you because takers are drawn to givers. So as long as you're putting out, boom, there go some takers. I promise you, if you don't learn to balance it, it's going to be a problem for you. You're going to look around and find yourself standing by yourself with nothing because you spent your life pleasing people. I want you to win. I want you to grow. I want to win. I want to grow. That's why we're doing these lives. That's why we're doing these videos, because we want to put some things out here to help us take an internal investigation of what's going on. Got to probe my heart to make sure that I'm doing what is necessary and that I'm doing what's beneficial not only for others, but also for my household. I'm done for the night. And until we meet again, we may come back tomorrow. No, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to overextend myself or overexert myself. With this thing, got a few more things to do with it, but we're getting ready to launch it. I'm also going to be inviting some of y'all on here because I want you to share. I want you to speak your heart, speak your mind. Maybe you'll get free if you have a platform to speak on. You know, also, somebody asked me, now, I need you to understand that nobody has to do anything, but anybody who wants to give, you cash out. If you feel like something was said, it ain't about the money. It's never about the money with me. But I've had people to come to me and suggest that I do it because there are people who want to, and I'm going to let them if that's what they choose to do. You can just cash out Ron L. King Sr. That's it. You know, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate you taking the time to just click on these lives and grow with me, grow with us. Until next time, we'll talk to you. Love you, and I hope you all have a happy, happy Thanksgiving.